Good afternoon. I would like to tell you a little bit about a taste test experiment done by Dr. Norwood's AGEC 4213 class. It was a taste test experiment between two different sodas, Shasta Twist and Sprite. We conducted this taste test experiment to answer two questions. Does product labeling affect the purchasing decision of a consumer? And, during a blind taste test, which soda is preferred most by the consumer? It is important to note that when people are making purchasing decisions, they are not only making a decision on the product itself, but also a decision on a product's label and reputation. Consumer decisions and preferences can be quite interesting and somewhat mysterious when looked at from the outside. This is one of the reasons we do studies such as this, to help us better understand consumer decision making. This kind of research can help people make smarter shopping decisions. If, because of this research, consumers can better understand their preferences and are influenced by things such as product label, this can cause them to buy a more expensive product even when their taste preferences tell them that they like the cheaper product better. The experiment. We acquired our sample audience by using the price analysis class taught by Dr. Brian Abbott. The students were voluntarily asked to participate in a survey after finishing their in-class exam. The subjects participated in two different taste tests, a blind taste test and a product label taste test. The questions that they answered will be covered later when we look at the survey the participants took. We followed some very important experiment protocols to make sure that we were collecting good data. These include the randomization of the data collections. We made sure the participants were randomized in which test they took first, and while taking said test, almost every variable was randomized for every different participant. This is a picture of the survey that the participants took. As you can see in the top right corner, it says version A. There were two versions, version A and version B. This front page just gives us some background information on the consumer's preferences about the two different sodas before they took the taste test. As you'll see at the bottom, it tells the participant to go to the orange table. Version B said the black table. Each of these represents one of the two different taste tests. This is an example of the page that represents the blind taste test. As you will see on the picture, we had a tray with a sticky note. Each sticky note had either a circle or a square. Then the participant would select which one he or she saw on their tray. After tasting each of the sodas in the two cups, the participant would record their liking of each soda on the survey, and then proceed to the other table for the second taste test, which is the product label taste test. As you'll see, we had a similar setup with a tray and a sticky note, the sticky note containing one of four letters, A, B, C, or D. And we would have our researchers pour the soda from the can into the styrofoam cup. And then we would have our participants taste each of the sodas. The randomization part of this comes from the researchers knowing what is in each of the cans. It may appear that there is Sprite in a Sprite can and Shasta Twist in a Shasta Twist can, but that would not be the case. We randomized which soda we put in which can. So, for example, on this tray, there may have been Shasta Twist in the Sprite can and Shasta Twist in the Shasta Twist can, or vice versa. There could have been Sprite in both of the cans. Our participants then turned to the back page of their survey to answer a few more questions about their consumption of sugary beverages. The data collection. The data was entered into a spreadsheet via a Google Drive form that automatically input that information into a spreadsheet. Each student in our class helped input information into the form. In order to root out any data entry mistakes, we had each survey entered into the spreadsheet 3 separate times by 3 separate individuals, and then used Excel functions such as if statements to check for any errors that were in our spreadsheet. Here's a histogram of the results that we gathered from our taste test experiment. These are the results from the blind taste test. As you can tell, people like Shasta Twist just as much as they like Sprite, which, for myself, was very surprising. I thought that people would like Sprite more than they like Shasta Twist. and the results from our taste test based on the design of the product, or the product label test. People like Sprite almost as much as they like Shasta Twist, or so it would appear from this histogram. Later we will go on and look at more detailed results. The results from the product label test, when looked at very closely, show us that 82.22% of people like Shasta Twist over Sprite when making their decision based off of just the product label. And from our blind taste test, we were told that 71.11% of people like Shasta Twist over Sprite based purely off of the taste of the product without knowing what they were tasting. In conclusion, we found some very interesting results that I think will help consumers to make purchase product decisions. They can confidently buy Shasta Twist and know that they will like it just as much, actually even better than they like the Sprite, which is the name brand prop that most of us tend to fluctuate towards. Thank you for your time.